Becky Hunt from Calgary Wildlife Rehabilitation Society. How are you?
Peter, I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, and we know each other from the past, which is kind of fun because we did a video before, and
It's not my first rodeo.
no, and we had some fun with that one. That was great, and I hope you didn't mind. I used some of the blooper. I just loved it. You were just awesome on that. So
Everyone loves a blooper.
absolutely. Well, listen, great to see you again, and I'm excited to talk to you about upcoming Canada Day and the event with Sponsor Energy, and really excited for you to be part of that, and of course being one of the top 10 finalists for the opportunity to win a new vehicle, which is going to be awesome. So I'm really excited for that. So let's just jump right into it. Let's let people understand a little bit more about you. Let's talk about your organization and the mission behind the work that you do, with animals and within the community. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Calgary Wildlife Rehabilitation Society, we've been around since 1993. We're the only center within the city of Calgary that rehabilitates and releases injured and orphaned wild animals. We also have a really crucial wildlife hotline service that we offer to the public where folks can call in, if they've seen what they think to be an injured or orphaned animal. They call us and we can guide them with the do's and the don'ts. We also offer education programming to schools and community groups just around, positive coexistence strategies with wildlife and really promoting, all the benefits that wild animals offer to the ecosystem and us as well.
Fantastic. I want people to dig into your website and learn a little bit more because, sometimes when we're talking about animal rescue, if you will, or shelters or things like that, I mean, our first impression normally goes to, cats and dogs, and that's fine. And in the city kind of thing. And we forget that, there's so much wildlife. There's a lot of wildlife in the city, but there's a lot of wildlife that we don't think about. That needs a lot of help, and you guys are really, really doing a great job with that. I want to talk about that, like the impact. What do you think the impact that your organization brings to the table when it comes to, the lives of the animals that we're talking about and the communities that you serve? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not only supporting, obviously, the injured and orphaned wild animals, we're supporting the public. In 2025, our hotline team fielded just over 9,600 phone calls to our team. So those are calls, when people, like I said, they see what they think is maybe an orphaned hare. We guide them through the steps of no, the behavior that you're seeing is totally normal, don't panic. Because we understand that the community, genuinely care about wild animals and, maybe have some misconceptions perhaps about what, normal animal behaviors are and from what they've maybe seen in movies and TV shows. And so we really help them bust those myths. So it's supporting the public, humans, but also supporting animals, that perhaps with habitat loss, more communities being built, more wildlife corridors being taken away. Those animals are becoming injured, whether it be through vehicle strikes or window strikes, or again, just no habitat, So we're there to offer that support when those wild animals need it as well.
You touched on something that I'm guilty of watching these all the time. If you look at social media, TikTok, Instagram, you see these videos of where people are walking along somewhere. They see something that they assume is an orphaned or injured animal, and it ends up coming home, and they take care of it and all that kind of stuff, which is heartwarming and wonderful from a story perspective. But in reality, I just want to say that I really appreciate what you just said there, is that we could be walking in the park in the city. I live in Calgary, so I could be walking along the Bow River. And if I see a little duckling or something, it doesn't mean it needs my help and I need to interfere. So just expand on that a little bit more, because I think social media has played a really incredible role in fantasizing the idea that, hey, I'm going to go out and save this life. And when in reality, we might be doing something different. And that's where you guys come in and can help, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, wildlife is vastly different, obviously, from domestic dogs and cats. And, so if a member of the public were to see, a puppy on its own, that's a totally different story than, seeing a baby hare or a deer fawn or even a fledgling bird. Those are the common ones that we often have these animals brought into our care or get calls about them when actually they were just displaying their normal, natural behavior. So, specifically with hares and deer fawns, mom leaves them throughout the day on their own because they're scentless. They can camouflage in place, so predators really don't see them. So mom goes away, she forages, and she comes back at dusk and dawn. Usually this is totally normal. But I think, a lot of people have sort of gotten into that place where they make the assumption if they see a baby wild animal on its own, it must be orphaned, which is just, it's not factual. Of course, there are situations where it could be injured, and there are telltale signs of that. So, we do have all that information on the website, but it's hard to, it's hard to ensure that the broader community is really getting all that information. So that's one of the reasons that we have our hotline too. So people can call in and ask if they're not sure. And we always really just, promote reaching out before bringing us a wild animal. Always call us or email us or pop onto the website.
Yeah, so much information on the website, and I'm going to keep referring to people to go there and learn more about what you do. Let's talk about Canada Day, a really exciting time. Sponsor Energy is doing just an amazing job of creating awareness for a lot of different charities, specifically animal charities. And you happen to be in the top 10 for winning a new vehicle, winning a new Jeep, and referred to as the Palmobile. So let's talk about that. The Palmobile, what would that mean to your organization and the people that you serve and the animals that you serve? How would that help your organization?
Well, first of all, a huge shout out to Sponsor Energy. Their team is so amazing. They were actually just up on site yesterday to deliver us another check. Like they're really walking the talk of, they're not greenwashing themselves. They actually do what they say they're doing. So they were out yesterday. And I saw the Palmobile up close. It's lovely. It's lovely. We, in our summer months, we are really busy. In June last year, we fielded 3,000 calls in 1 month. And so those were all people ringing in saying, oh, I have an injured or orphan wild animal, which means that our team, if they are truly in need of help, need to go out and collect these animals and bring them back to have treatment. So having a vehicle to assist with that, and also things like, supply runs. Sometimes we have to drive all the way out to Airdrie or further to pick up supplies for our patients. We offer species specific foods and substrate and bedding and enclosure materials. And so a lot of those items, can't just be bought at the corner store. So we have to drive a ways for those. So having a vehicle where we can also, bring supplies back to the site would be really, really wonderful. Absolutely.
And, in talking to other charities along with yourself, is that we always assume, or our thoughts are, we think of a facility, a place, and that people come to you and all, the animals just arrive there somehow, some way. But we forget that the whole part of the big part of it is the community engagement, the fact that you're going out into the community. You got to go to investigate and look and research and then make decisions, and all that stuff is out in the field. And then, the work might be done back at the center. But yeah, we forget that part. That's where the Jeep comes in. That's where the opportunity to have a new vehicle is going to make a big difference in the community. Let's talk to the public that might, again, I'm encouraging them to go to your website and learn more. Let's talk to them right now about how they can help you with this campaign, because voting is open. People can vote. And then, of course, through the voting, they can donate and they can share amongst their friends and family and into their network. And I think a key piece here is that, Sponsor Energy and all that they're doing, they want to make sure that everybody gets a little of something. So even if someone doesn't win a Jeep, they're going to share money. So let's talk to those people right now and ask them, for you to ask them, how they can participate and help you win that Jeep. That's what I want. I want them to win. I want you to win it.
Well, vote for Calgary Wildlife. But again, of course, it's just like a huge giant thank you to Sponsor Energy for for these initiatives. Whoever ends up, whatever 3 organizations end up, being the winners, we're all doing amazing and difficult work, and every single one of us, deserves it. So kudos to whoever does end up winning. And yeah, the donation aspect of it too, like I said earlier, great. Donations and Sponsor Energy, they're really walking the talk of being a organization, a company that promotes philanthropy and the community and charitable giving. So if you're able to donate, we would really appreciate that. Vote for us and vote for all your other favorite, organizations too. And an early congratulations to whoever the winners are.
I know, right? I'm hoping for everybody. I really am. Because again, everyone's doing such great work. You do it. You're the quiet heroes. You're out there doing these things. It never goes away. It's 24/7. While we look forward to the weekend, it's another day of activity for you guys. And I just want to tell you, I really appreciate the work that you do, because it's so heroic, but it's so quiet and it's in the background, and it makes our communities better. So I appreciate that very much. And I'm cheering for you. I'm telling you, I got a good feeling. I'm cheering for you. Something's going to happen on Canada Day. So we'll see you on Canada Day.
Thank you so much, Peter.